Hi, we're working on grade 3, module 3, or grade 3 multiplication and division. Today we're looking at the associative property input page. Let's get started. We use blank when we use the associative property. We use models. Okay, we use models when we use the associative property. The associative property can be a little bit hard to understand, and so that's why we use models, because models help show our thinking. When we only blank or only blank, it doesn't matter how the numbers are grouped. So this is a refresher from our parentheses page. When we only add or only multiply, it doesn't matter how our numbers are grouped. So if you remember from the parentheses page, we had to use parentheses to show what to do first, because the answer changed based on if we added or multiplied first. But if you only add or only multiply, the order doesn't change the answer. So if we're adding and multiplying, the order matters. We have to have those parentheses. If we're only multiplying, we don't need those parentheses, but we can include them to show our thinking. Okay? We can draw the associative property using models. Just trying to think, maybe I got the wrong word for the first sentence. We can draw the associative property using models. I'm so sorry, the first sentence should be parentheses. So let's cross out models or erase it if you used a pencil, because you're very smart. We use parentheses. So the first sentence should read, we use parentheses when we use the associative property. I'm not going to edit that mistake out because I want you guys to see that everybody makes mistakes. I make a lot of them. I had forgotten that we use parentheses when we use the associative property. But they're not as important as those two-step problems, because the parentheses won't change the answer using the associative property, but they do help us draw models to show what we did. Okay, let's look at some examples. So our first array right here is 3 rows of 2. This is just a simple multiplication problem that we've been doing for months now. So 3 times 2 equals 6 is what this one should read. And you can see up here I scribbled out models and wrote parentheses. Okay? We can use that 3 times 2 to show a bigger equation. Notice that down here I have 4 groups, 1, 2, 3, 4, that each show 3 times 2. I'm going to put parentheses around each group to show that they're together. So this is one group, this is one group, this is one group, and this is one group. So I have 4 groups of 3 times 2. I can write that in a multiplication equation. 4 groups of, remember, of means multiplying in math language. So I have 4 groups of 4 times 3 times 2. I could have replaced that 3 times 2 with a 6, but using the associative property, we leave it as the multiplication equation. So 4 groups of 3 times 2. What does that equal? How many total dots do I have here? You can count them up, you can skip count them, however you want to do it. You get the answer, 24. Now, arrays are the model that I have seen most commonly with the associative property, but I wanted to show you how it could be used with a different kind of model, so I included a tape diagram. You'll see at the top here we have 3 times 3, just a regular old multiplication equation. 3 times 3 equals 9, but now I've put 3 times 3 in 4 boxes of a tape diagram. So I have 4 groups of, or 4 times, 3 times 3. Okay, This one I can't count any dots, but I know that 3 times 3 is 9, so I could skip count 9, 18, 27, 36, and find out that if I have 4 groups of 3 times 3, I end up with 36. Okay, again, this is one where you might be saying, I can multiply those numbers. We're practicing the process. Because next year, you're going to need to do a little bit more with it. And then next year, a little bit more with it. And so we're just practicing the process to start building those connections in our brains. All right, it's time to tackle that output page. Thanks so much for watching.